I look like I f***ed a pig. Do I still owe your mum money? Is she annoyed, is she?
These hecklers thought they were bold until a comedian turned their mic into a weapon. Matt Rife and the Lost Phone. It started like any normal night, Matt Rife doing crowd work, casually roasting a couple in the front row. But then, a woman from the back yelled out something that stopped the room cold. "You're not even funny." The room went dead silent. Matt didn't flinch. He simply smiled, leaned into the mic and said, "Says the woman whose phone is now my property." See, moments earlier, she had stormed the stage, tried to prove a point, and accidentally dropped her phone in front of him. Instead of giving it back, Matt flipped the script. He opened her notes app and read out loud a list titled, "Things I Shouldn't Say Out Loud." Line 1. "Sometimes I just want attention." The audience lost it. But here's the kicker. He never revealed everything else he saw. What did Matt read that made him say, "Don't worry, I'll keep your secrets, for now"? And why did she leave the venue in tears before intermission? Jimmy Carr's dirty trap. Jimmy Carr doesn't just roast hecklers, he sets traps for them. One night, a drunk man shouted mid-show, "You think you're clever, don't you?" Jimmy paused, pointed at him and asked, "What's your name, sir?" The guy smirked and answered, "Dave." That's all Jimmy needed. "Dave," he said, "your mother and I have unfinished business. So, unless you're here to help me finish, maybe zip it." The crowd roared, but Jimmy wasn't done. He followed up with, "Do I still owe your mom money, Dave? Or did she waive the fee for being this embarrassing?" But here's where it gets evil. Jimmy pulled out a notebook, flipped to a page, and read a joke that matched the guy's heckle exactly. It was pre-planned. The whole thing. He baited a heckler and demolished it. How many comebacks has Jimmy Carr already written, and are hecklers just pawns in his twisted comedy game? Steve Harvey and the walkout roast. Steve Harvey was deep into a heartfelt bit about fatherhood when two audience members stood up and began walking out. Mid-sentence, Steve stopped, looked right at them, and said, "Aw, don't leave now. I haven't even started judging you yet."
Hey, dog, where y'all going? This a movie we shooting. We just can't have the front row empty. Bring your ass back. Hey, dog, hey.
The room exploded. The couple froze. But Steve didn't just stop there, he invited them back. "Come sit up front, I want to see what a bad decision looks like." They came back, regretted it instantly. For the next 5 minutes, Steve did a full-on roast, turning their walkout into a live demo of every red flag in dating history. "You know how I know y'all don't work? He's wearing Crocs, and she's laughing like she got a secret boyfriend." What made it worse? They tried to laugh it off. The audience didn't. They chose Steve. But was Steve just improvising, or had he seen them coming from the moment they entered the room? Andrew Schulz. "You will follow me to hell." There's Savage. And then there's Andrew Schulz. One night, a man yelled out mid-set, "You can't joke about that." Schulz stopped, stared him down, and responded, "You're right. You can't. But I can. And now I will." Louder. He didn't back down. Instead, he doubled down. Riffing on the exact topic the heckler didn't like, Schulz took the audience into darker, sharper territory, pulling off laughs where others wouldn't dare. Then he said it. "If I'm going to hell for this joke, you're coming with me. You paid for the seat." The crowd howled. The heckler sat in silence. But here's the wild part. Security approached the man afterward, only for Schulz to stop them. "Let him stay. It's more fun when he suffers." Why didn't the heckler leave? Why did he just sit, red-faced, for the rest of the set? Troy's political heckler breakdown. Comedian Troy Bond was halfway through a set when a woman shouted, "Stop making fun of politics." He smirked and calmly replied, "I'll stop when politicians start being funny on purpose." She kept yelling. Troy didn't argue. He just started imitating her, word for word, volume for volume. And suddenly the room wasn't laughing at him, they were laughing with him, at her. The woman stood up to leave, but before she could walk out, Troy dropped one last line. "You walked in offended, and you're leaving confused. That's growth." The entire room erupted. But what did she say, moments before being escorted out, that made the security guard apologize to Troy? Joe Rogan and the heckler who asked for it. Midway through a Joe Rogan set, a guy near the front yelled, "You're not even funny without your podcast." Joe blinked, took a sip of water, then smiled and asked, "You listen to my podcast?" The heckler nodded. Joe grinned wider. "So, you pay to watch me talk? Then pay again to heckle me talking? My guy, you're the only fan I've got who's a stalker and a sponsor." The whole crowd howled, but Joe wasn't finished. He leaned in, lowered his voice, and said, "I do 3 hours a day talking nonsense. If you don't like it, you're free to start your own or go cry in the parking lot." The heckler sat down, never spoke again. But here's the twist. That clip? It never made it online. Why? Rumor says the heckler was someone well-connected. The mystery? Who was he? And why did he back down so fast? Catherine Ryan and the Champagne Heckler. It was a posh London crowd, and Catherine Ryan was deep into a bit about dating rich men. Then came the heckle, an older woman in pearls shouting, "You're just jealous." Catherine didn't miss a beat. "Of your taste?" "Darling, the last time I saw a dress like that, it was in a funeral home, and the dead woman was better accessorized." The audience gasped, then screamed with laughter. But Catherine wasn't done. She walked toward the woman's table, looked at her untouched glass of champagne, and added, "Even your drink knows you're not worth toasting." Savage, elegant, brutal, and the crowd? Fully hers. But here's what no one expected. The woman returned to her seat 10 minutes later, alone, tear-streaked. Why did she come back? And what did Catherine say to her backstage? Dave Chappelle and the silent stare. One of the most chilling shutdowns didn't involve a word, just a stare. Dave Chappelle was performing a small club set when a man shouted, "Don't joke about that." Dave looked up slowly, didn't blink, didn't smile, just stared. The room tensed up. Then Dave finally said, "You bought a ticket to see me. Not church, not therapy. Me." He paused, took a long drag of his cigarette. "You came to laugh, and now you're mad you're not in control." The silence in that room was louder than any laugh. The heckler left. Quietly. No more words. But here's the thing. Chappelle's team never released that footage. Why? What was the joke that triggered the silence? And why do insiders say that stare still haunts comedy clubs? Ricky Gervais and the Golden Globes roast back. Not all hecklers are in the audience. Sometimes they're on stage with you. During one of his infamous Golden Globes monologues, Ricky Gervais called out actors for pretending to care about politics. The crowd groaned. A-listers shifted uncomfortably. Tom Hanks was caught shaking his head. Ricky saw it. "Oh, look, it's Tom pretending he's never heard a controversial opinion. Don't worry, mate, you're not in Castaway anymore." Oof. The camera panned to Tom. He froze. The crowd lost it. Ricky sipped his beer and added, "You don't have to agree with me. You just have to sit there and take it, like you do with your agents." But Ricky later revealed in a podcast that one major celeb tried to have the monologue pulled before it aired. Who was it? Why was it never confirmed? And what did Ricky say in his final line that got it past the censors? The open mic disaster turned legend. It wasn't a Netflix special, not even a sold-out theater, just a small open mic in Austin. A young comic, barely 3 jokes in, when a guy yelled, "Get off the stage, you're not funny." The kid froze, looked devastated. The room got quiet. Then, out of nowhere, legendary comic Doug Stanhope, who happened to be in the crowd, stood up, walked to the stage, and grabbed the mic. "You're right," he said. "He's not funny yet, but neither were any of us when we started. The difference is, he showed up. You just showed out." Boom. Room flipped. The heckler tried to talk back, but Doug shushed him with a wave and added, "Next round's on me if you can afford to choke on it." The kid got a standing ovation. But here's what's wild. No one remembers the heckler's name. Everyone remembers the kid. And rumor says, that kid? He now writes for Saturday Night Live. Live comedy is chaos. It's sharp, raw, unfiltered. And when a heckler steps in, they gamble everything. Because the best comedians don't just tell jokes. They command rooms, flip moments, and turn hecklers into punchlines. Next time you're at a show, will you dare to heckle? Or just watch what happens? Like, subscribe. And remember, if you speak up, you better be ready to get shut down. Thanks for watching.